Hey, what's up? This is Jared with the Daily App Show. So today we're going to take a look at a GPS application called Trailblazer Challenge. Now, over the year and a half here, I've looked at a lot of GPS applications, but none of them allow you to really interact with other people or challenge yourself, which I think is really what sets this application apart from the other ones. Not only can you challenge yourself by recording your tracks and attempting to beat your previous recorded tracks or trails, but you can also send those over to other people and allow them to challenge you as well. So let's take a look. From the get-go here, we've got the typical the items that can be recorded as we start and record our trail or our track. We've got speed, heading, all this stuff. This isn't going to be a very good demo of this functionality because I'm not moving anywhere. I'm not outside walking or hiking or running around or riding a bike. So none of these settings here are really going to move. This light up here in the top hand corner will tell you how well your GPS connection is. Now, if you are in a city or somewhere where you're going to be going by homes and businesses, I would recommend turning your Wi-Fi connection off because obviously the GPS doesn't work when the Wi-Fi is on, which is why I have a red light right there. So while I'm in this pane here, I can just flat out lock this so that anything that I touch isn't going to stop this. Of course, I can view the other tabs as well, but when it's locked, I cannot stop or disrupt my track that I'm recording. So I can slide to unlock and get back to there. What's nice is that you can do a couple of things while you're in this app. You can use your camera and you can find any of your information from your contacts that are in your phone. This is good because if you exit the application, it's going to stop recording that data. So you want to try and not exit the application if at all possible. And that would allow the application to continue to record the data as you're moving about. So for example, like I like to ride bikes. And when I'm riding, I like to kind of see how hard I've been working. And it's nice because this application allows to have not only the speed and the heading, but the altitude and the distance recorded as well. And so that's a good representation for me after I've ridden a bike to look back and say, okay, well, I know how far I went and I know how fast I was going, but the altitude lets me know how high I climbed or how hard I actually worked. Over and above just riding on flat land. So while you're in the app, of course, you can do many things. You can go and view the map right here. You can view graphs, which doesn't really show anything because we don't have anything recorded as we're sitting here not moving. But you can view the graph by different time periods, which is really neat. You can also view an altitude map, which will show you your altitude that you have traveled over this certain amount of time, depending on whichever tab you've selected for the time representation. So that's really neat because that gives you a good idea, like I was just recently talking about, how hard you worked and you know where you were slacking off, or if it was the altitude, maybe where the land was flat as opposed to where you climbed. So under list, this is where it would show our completed tracks, and there are a couple things you could do with completed tracks. I can click right here to the arrows, and this is for searching for different phones. So now it is looking for a different phone to send a track to. So if I had a track selected, I click that button, I could send a track off to somebody else. I don't have another phone nearby, so I can't do that. What's really cool though is once they accept that track, they can load it into their app right here and be challenged. Do the same type of trail that you just did, but try and beat everything that you recently just did. You can also tap the other icon right here, and it is going to send out a signal to this address, which you can go to a web browser, type in whatever address shows up there for you, and download that information to your computer. And then the export, of course, will export it out once you have those connections set. So under settings, we have units, just some different things to adjust here. The Google Earth, challenge notification, and then the ability to export through FTP also, in case we wanted to upload these to a server, if you have a server or some sort of access that would allow you to FTP data into. So this would work really good because you could back stuff up out as long as you have a connection to, like a 3G connection or a Wi-Fi connection. You could actually export your tracks to a web server, which would be kind of like a backup. So very nice solution there as well. Just some basic other information that you can look at on your own time. But what's the coolest thing about this application is the ability to challenge each other and also challenge yourself. That's the unique feature that sets this app apart from the others. Of course, it does a great job tracking trails as well and recording that data for you, maybe if you just want to challenge yourself. But I think even being able to share those tracks with other people is really neat as well. One other thing, you could play music from within the app, which is really good. Like I mentioned before, you don't want to exit the app if you are actively recording a track. So you want to play your music from within the app and do everything that you possibly can from within the application. So that's about it. We have the lock button, like I said. We could pause and resume at any time that we want right here. We also tap on the clock to pause it as well, to see the tracking and then to see the total time. So you have two different timers that are built in there, which is really nice. Then I can click resume. So a really great application. There really is not much that this app doesn't do, so I think it's a great solution for those of you out there, regardless of whether or not you want to be able to challenge yourself or challenge other people. It's just a great application to use to record your training data or your track data, or if you're out riding a bike or hiking or running. It's just a great application for that. So definitely check it out. It's called Trailblazer Challenge, and you can get it in the App Store. Come by our website, dailyappshow.com, and leave your own thoughts and reviews about Trailblazer Challenge. Take care, and we'll see you next time.